All right, lads and lasses, in this video, we're going to be covering what makes a good story, the importance of a good story, which applies to any niche, how to create a good story, story styles, and much, much more. So let's do it. Right, first and foremost, what makes a good story? Has to evoke emotion, self-reflection. This forces the viewer to reflect as well, because in case you didn't know, when someone's watching a video, they automatically picture themselves as you. So if you win, they win. All right. Relatability, conflict resolution, also known as the curiosity loop, and authenticity. It's a must. Now, how are we going to evoke emotion? Dig deep into your own emotional triggers. So if something makes you happy, sad, excited, or otherwise, dig into that. Dig into the same things that make you feel that emotion. If you're trying to portray being sad, being excited, do or say the thing in the video that is going to make you feel that emotion, because chances are will make others feel that emotion as well. So if you're trying to portray the emotion of sadness, you're going to dig into the things that make you feel that emotion. Pretty simple, right? Now, you also need to change your vocal tone to match the emotion you're trying to portray. So like I said, if you're trying to portray the emotion of sadness, you're not going to be like, and the next minute, the cat fucking died and I was super sad about it. No. Okay? Obviously, you're not going to do that. You're going to try and the next minute, the cat fucking died and I was so sad about it, right? Two completely different things, but I said the same thing just in a different way. Now, the last thing I would advise to do when you're trying to evoke emotion is say controversial things, okay? People invest their energy into people with differing opinions, okay? You look at someone like Isaac Butterfield, Brett Cooper, Andrew Tate, who's massive, Donald Trump. All of these four individuals, completely different levels of fame, I acknowledge that. But in some way, shape or form, they are extremely polarizing, okay? And this is literally what they've built their audiences off of. So don't be afraid of saying controversial things. Chances are they will drive comments. Whether someone agrees with you or not, you're still going to get comments. You're still going to get these people watching. Excuse me. Right now, self-reflection. Like I said, it forces viewers to reflect as well, because they are automatically putting themselves in your shoes as they watch the video. So I'm going to play a quick clip here, and then I'm going to explain to you why it works so well. Come on.
Cringy fucking content. Cringy as fuck. Like, I look back on it now and I'm like, oh, you posted that? They were liking my shit. They were sharing my shit. They did not care that it was cringe. They just cared that I was happy. And that's what a true friend is, bro. Okay? Josh was not a true friend in the sense that he would not support me for the things that I wanted to achieve. He was just there for a good time. He wanted to drink and buddy. He wanted to go out and get f***ed up. He did not care who it was with. And that's the exact type of friends who he will have until he decides to make that change for himself.
So straight out, I'm sure as you're watching that, maybe you yourself are asking yourself the question, have I got this friend in my life? Have I got this Josh of a friend in my life? The one who's fake, the one who just wants to drink and buddy, the one who doesn't actually care about my well-being. Okay, all that sort of thing is what's going through your mind as I'm saying this. So it forces the viewer to reflect, despite me not asking them a direct question, which is why self-reflection in the video, doesn't matter what style of content you make, is so important. Let's move on. Come on, lad. All right, now relatability. This is the exact reason you joined the program, but you didn't. This is on YouTube for free right now. So as you're watching this is actually a module from my program. Top link in the description is going to take you there. If you're finding this valuable, then you will most definitely find the other 20 modules available in there. Extremely valuable. It's pretty much just going over everything I've done to grow my channel from 0 to 40,000 subscribers in the past 9 months. Okay, so if that sounds like something that may be of interest, just click that top link. But how are we going to be relatable? Speak from the heart, okay? If you're watching this video, chances are you've seen my content, you've seen Jack Piggott's content, you might have seen people like Hamza, his earlier sort of content. All of us have done well to a certain degree. Obviously, the other two people, Hamza and Jack, are much more successful on YouTube than I am. But because we are authentic, okay? Authenticity is just, speaking from the heart and being able to, how would I put this? Being able to connect with the viewer just by speaking the truth, pretty much. Which would bring me to my next point. Don't overscript. If you're overscripting your videos, there's no sort of transfer of emotion. So the biggest thing for me when I started out, the biggest bottleneck, the thing holding me back from sort of leveling up my channel, was overscripting the videos. So I would script them word for word. And what I would do is I would read from the script, look back up, recite it to the camera. Or alternatively, I would just straight read from the script and be looking this way and then use like the AI thing to make it look like I was making eye contact with the camera. That's a big no-no. There's no authenticity when you do that, okay? So definitely don't have a script. Have like some dot points, read off of the dot points, simple as that. Now, add comedy, bro. It feels like a natural conversation. In that style of content that I just showed you, right? You just saw that little 30-second clip where I'm reflecting. It's sort of annoying when you watch content like that, but the entire 20 minutes, the person's just so serious. So I always make sure, even if I'm doing like a 15, 20-minute video, that it's not too serious. Like you got to add little bits of comedy in there or little fuck ups because it makes it feel more relatable. But if you're just super serious the whole time and you're in this like really emotional state throughout the entire video, people are going to click off. It's fucking annoying watching someone who's just too serious all the time because that's not you in person. When people talk to you, you're not just this super serious guy who's never down to have a laugh, are you, right? So incorporate comedy into your videos. Just feels like a natural conversation. Now, conflict resolution. This is one I'm super fucking keen. I love talking about this one. It gets me hyped every single time. So what is it? Make a problem apparent, give a solution, mention another problem, give a solution. It might sound a little confusing, so let me just fucking show you. All right. Problem equals red, solution equals green. And this is in relation to this video here, which by the way got a low click-through rate, but still did super well. And I'm going to tell you the exact reason as to why in just a moment. Story starts with being invited to a party. Problem, not allowed to go. Solution, make up a lie to go. Get to the party. Problem, no bathroom. Walk to the club to use bathroom. Solution, get back to party. Party shuts down at 12. Problem, find a new party solution, and so on and so forth. You get the point. So, the reason this video performed so well is purely just because of the conflict resolution loop, the curiosity loop. Okay, like I said, the click-through rate was super low. So anything below 6% is low. I believe this is on like a 4.5% over time. And the reason it did so well is because it got a high retention. And I can simply put that down to every time a problem closed, another one opened. Okay, so every time we got a solution to a problem, another problem opened. Then we got another solution, then another problem, so on and so forth. So the retention on that was nearly 7 minutes. That's really good on a 16-minute video. That's well above 30%, which is what you want for viral. Okay, so simply put, the curiosity loop, conflict resolution, keeps people engaged. Okay, this is one of the most crucial aspects when you're telling a good story. All right, moving on. Authenticity. We sort of touched on this a minute ago. Relatability, authenticity. Excuse me. Relatability, authenticity go hand in hand with each other. But to put it in as short a terms as I possibly can, just be you. Okay. The biggest thing that held me back when I first started, aside from over scripting, which is obviously a part of authenticity, is trying to pretend that I was someone I wasn't, if that makes sense. I'd watch all this Andrew Tate content, all this Red Pill content, and I would get all these ideas in my head and I'd recite these ideas to the camera instead of just speaking from the heart or speaking, what my opinions were. And another thing I would say when you're talking to a camera, because I know how difficult it can be when you're first starting, is just pretend you're speaking with the person you are closest with. Okay, so when I started doing these more authentic style videos, not over scripted, I would just pretend like behind the camera here was my best mate Crocker. I was just talking to him, spinning a yarn with him, and this is where that comedy aspect comes in. You can really tell jokes if you're picturing your best mates like right behind the camera, you're talking to him, okay? So when you're telling a story, literally just pretend you're speaking with the person you're close with. It may sound dumb, but trust me, bro, this shit works. Now, I applied the same principles to every single one of these videos, okay? So there may be some very familiar looking thumbnails and titles here to many of you. This module is, of course, a few months old, so you're seeing not very recent views. A lot of these videos have 200,000, 50,000 more than they did at the times of these screenshots, but aside's the point, all right? So every single one of these videos, I've applied the conflict resolution style to. Whether I knew it or not at the time, that's a different story. So when I first did this video, this is the video that got my channel monetized. I had no idea I was doing it, but for every problem that closed, another one opened. So I was in this constant conflict resolution loop. and that allowed that video to pop off, obviously, most popular video on my channel. But the importance of a good story is this, okay? Every single YouTuber on the planet uses a story to portray their message. It is literally the keystone to their success, okay? Mr. Beast does it through documentation. It's a very, very different sort of style of documentation. So in his videos, he's just not telling you what's happening. Oh yeah, so he did a weight loss one recently. Madge has lost 10 pounds. He's telling a story, right? And in this process, Madge had to go through heartache, struggles. He's telling a story. He's really adding the emotional aspects to it. Some guy unfortunately passed away in that video. He's adding to the emotion. Anything that happens, he tries to amplify in edit, which is exactly what you want to do. Hamza does it through storytelling, like old sort of stories, past tense. Mike Thurston, documentation, documents his gym journey, vlogs, all that sort of thing. He's done super well. Jake Paul, documentation. He's done some story style stuff. He's incorporated past tense stories as well. Casey Neistat, once again, bit of both. Alex Hormozy, very, very different. He tells stories that are past tense, but he is a financial-based channel. So every single one of these YouTubers, very different, but they all apply the same key principles in order to grow their personal brand, okay? Which is exactly what you want to do. Now, the importance of a good story. People don't buy from the smartest, they buy from the person who they resonate with the most, okay? So simply put, stories sell. You're not buying from the person who you believe to be the smartest. If that were the case, then most of the people making 50K a year right now would be multi-billionaires. You're buying from the person who you can trust the most, who you resonate with the most. I guarantee people who have been watching my channel from the start, I launch a product, boom, they'll buy it like that. Okay, because they trust me, they know me, they recognize my face. Am I the smartest in this niche? No, fuck no. I'll be the first to say, if you want to grow your YouTube channel as fast as you possibly can, I am not that guy to get you to 1 million, 100 million subscribers. But I'm the person who you most likely trust the most. Therefore, you're going to, buy my program. 50% off, link in the description. Cheeky shameless plug there. But anyhow, moving on. Stories build trust. They give you credibility, okay? Tips are just theory. You see all these self-improvement tip videos online. And I was talking to my mate Jack about this the other day. The reason so many self-improvement YouTubers don't do well is because they're not basing anything off of experience. It's, the typical discipline over motivation type mindset where they just want to give out all these tips, but they got nothing to back it up. Like in my videos, I'll always say, I'm just an 18-year-old, what do I know? And I'm just straight out talking from my experience, letting people make their own decisions based off of what I've said. But when you're just sitting there giving tips and you're not really relating it back to anything, you sound like a dickhead and no one's going to take your advice. No one's going to trust you. You have no credibility, right? You see what I'm saying? And my third point here is your story can change lives, okay? I was very hesitant to start doing these story times on YouTube at first, simply because I didn't really want people knowing all these details about my life. But slowly but surely, the more stories I told, the more confident I became with just, not giving a fuck and letting people know all these details. Because it's past tense. It doesn't actually affect my life going forward. I don't care if people know I used to do all this shit in the past, right? But as a result of telling these stories, which by the way, like I said, I was very hesitant to do, people actually message me. I get messages every day, hundreds of messages a week, hundreds of comments a week. Oh, bro, you changed my life. I was gonna myself, and then I saw your video and I started watching you, and I've been clean for months and months. All of these things are a result of my videos, okay? So you can literally tell your story and it has the power to change other people's lives. Like Mike Thurston, let's take him for example. Let's stop glazing myself. You take Mike Thurston, I guarantee you he's at least changed 1,000 people's lives, like physically, maybe a fat kid might have saw his videos and been like, holy shit, I'm going to lose 100 kilos. I'm going to get into the gym. I'm going to get into shape. Maybe a skinny kid saw his videos and went, holy fuck, I'm going to get jacked. I guarantee you that is the case. Right? Now, how to create a good story. Think about your own past struggles. So once again, I'm going to reference back to Mike Thurston. I don't want to keep talking about myself in this instance, give you a real world example. He's relatable because he knows what it's like to be the skinny kid who struggles to put on weight, struggles to put on muscle, who literally gets bullied in school for for being skinny. I remember there's actually a story of him. He got mugged one time because he was so small, and he decided he was going to get into the gym. That's what got him to get into the gym. He figured if he was a bit bigger, he wouldn't get mugged, all right? So him thinking about his own personal struggles has resulted in where he is today, which I think we would all agree is a pretty good position to be in. All right, now keep people in that curiosity loop. Simply put, we already went over this. Be honest, okay? People commend honesty. In my videos, many of you who will have watched my videos, you will have seen the things about, beating it at school, not treating my girlfriend very well, drugs, all that sort of thing. All of these past experiences that people usually wouldn't be honest or be willing to talk about, I talk about, and I would attribute a lot of my success to that. Pretty much all of it. Anyhow, moving on, script videos, mostly dot points, okay? So this is like I said a minute ago, you don't want to overscript them. So when I'm doing a script for the video, I might script word for word like the hook. I'll have a little glance over it and then I'll recite to the camera. I'm not going to look like and do it word for word. But then the dot points are pretty much, I just put talk about this, comma, that, like talk about this, talk about that. And I'll just put sort of dot points on what I should be talking about. So when I glance at the script, the talk about points, the dot points, that might last me 1 to 2 minutes of just like straight conversation. So like I'm doing here, I've got dot points here, but I can ramble on and I can just yap and talk to you about a simple, 5 words that I've written here. Okay, so dot points is what's going to portray that authenticity with the storytelling. Okay, now story styles, we sort of went over this, but I just want to break it down. Documentation, past experiences. Okay, so 31K, damn. This was taken a while back. Anyhow, Mike Thurston, documentation. Lukey V, storytelling, past tense. So I'm telling stories that have happened in the past. He is telling the story as it happens through the means of documentation. It doesn't matter which style you choose. It just matters that you stay consistent with that style. Because if Mike Thurston were to do a video where he's just sitting down talking heads similar to what I do, it probably wouldn't go as good as his gym videos or his vlog videos, the ones where he's up, he's traveling, all that sort of thing. And same goes for me. I know when I do vlogs on my channel, that's not my niche. So I haven't solidified an audience there. They don't do very well. All right. But that is going to be us for today. That was storytelling. Like I said, if you did enjoy this video, you found value in it, click that top link in the description. I'm telling you, son, your channel is going to blow the fuck up. With this program, I've literally put my heart and soul into it, and I literally teach everything I know. There's no gatekeeping. Like you've just seen, I've put a module from this course, from this program, I should say, on YouTube for free. So if you did find value in it, click that top link right now. It is 70% off. And if you buy now, you lock that price in for life. Meaning when it goes up to $100 instead of the $27 that it is right now, you will still be paying the $27 a month for life. Okay. So I hope you found value in this. I'll see you in the next one. Hit the sub button. Stay grinding, my G.